Здравейте, здравейте, момци и моми, аз съм GMR, а това е епизод 11 от поредицата на The Outer Worlds, Peril on Gorgon. Продължаваме там, откъдето бяхме свършили.
Not looking forward to the canids. Odious things. I don't know why we let them prance around the city.
Трябва да им вземем всичко на тия. Първата как ме стресна. Бая се, няма да издръбняваме да взимаме соли от всичко, но ще се огледаме за патрони. И нещо, на което пак му забравих името. Макпикове. Гледа, тук е доста интересно.
I didn't. Frankly, I don't know. Couple of years? More? He said he was off on some type of beautification treatment, which I can only assume is a euphemism.
Интересно. Тук само сноу има, доколкото разбирам.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
Winston Forsythe and Clarence Mosley in a staring contest?
О, кораб взимам.
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea.
Is this about canid hunting? We've been over this before. It's a terrible idea.
Canid hunting is the natural evolution of canid shows. No one's going to miss a few backwater laborers anyway.
Преди да отидем към този човек там да си говорим, мисля да доразгледаме. Добре, че си ти първата да ми кажеш, защото иначе по принцип бях доста оплашен. Но сега вече не съм. Значи тия уелти кани...
I'm just here for the spectrum violet.
I'm just here for the spectrum violet.
Тук с никой от тях не можем да говорим. Я ходим тук, някакъв асансьор. Добре, после ще посетим и него. Той има име, бе.
I don't suppose you've any formal training in canid husbandry. I really am at my wit's end. It's my little Anubis, you see. He's listless and miserable. I simply don't know what to do about his condition.
You never cure canid Anubis?
Oh, naturally. All our canids are named after the legends of the old pharaohs. Family tradition, you see. You must understand, Anubis is a very picky eater. He dines exclusively on Terra 2 Saltuna, none of that rubbish from Monarch. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a shortage lately. He's so miserable without his Saltuna.
Добре, appreciate. Persuade. Look at the pure guy. He's tired of Saltuna. Give him a proper treat.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I doubt all this excitement is doing any favors to his digestive system. I suppose I have been spoiling him with Saltuna. He could use a change of palate. Oh, I do have some limited edition Rizzo's CCN 76 chocolate bars.
Шоколад? Не, шоколад на кучета по принцип не се дава. Или поне не често. No. Are you out of your mind? No chocolate.
Really? I had no idea. I suppose I'll just treat him to some spectrum violet then. You've been a world of help. I'll leave a good word on your permanent record.
По принцип кучетата си имат така, както и котките, си имат доста неща, които могат и не могат да ядат и Аз нямам домашен любимец, обаче имам приятели, които имат домашни любимци и сериозно гледат да не ги хранат с салами, кюфтета и всеки такива неща, които съдържат подправки, които могат реално да навредят на животното. Значи знам, че котките и кучетата по принцип не могат да ядат абсолютно всичко. Както повечето хора такива взимат нещо от масата и го фърлят там в живота да го ядат. То ще го изяда, няма проблеми. По-късен етап може да се появят разни увреждания.
It's not canid hunting I object to, it's the...
Since when do you
Johnny?
care about input?
Not now, please. I'm a
Canid
little
shows
too
are
busy.
involved.
Окей, Джой. Чай сега говорим с този баба и тук. Тук са само неща, които ще вземем. Така, експ.
Welcome. This unit has been programmed to provide a selection of marginally subversive
Мистер
repertoire.
Барбарино. My favorite kind of repertoire. Let's hear it.
Now loading banter protocol. Indecency ratio set to 15%. Did you know that Orville Schuyler feeds his canids discount salt tuna? Scandalous.
Okay. Hack 50% is way too low. Let's set that indecency ratio to maximum.
Indecency ratio set to maximum. Now loading banter protocol. Byzantium's glory days are over. Bits cannot purchase happiness. All pleasure is fleeting. No amount of inebriation will dull the pain of ennui. Warning. This unit's banter protocol has exceeded its maximum allowance of subversive language. Memory wipe initiated. This unit's banter protocol has been erased. Would you like to purchase a drink?
Nope. Не ми беше интересен този робот. Аре, бе, вземи го това. Здрасти, Джони.
Hey, Maverick Johnston's newest star. I've got a question for you. Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows?
No, but I have a feeling you're about to tell me anyway.
Good instincts. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility.
Why are you telling me this?
Oh, I've been told I should try to socialize more. Sharing an interesting fact is a proven method of endearing oneself to a stranger. I'm an actuary, you see. Well, not entirely. The actuarial sciences are more of a passion than a profession. So I suppose that makes me mostly an actuary. That's a bit of a family joke. I'm Clarence Mostly.
Ясно. I got mostly. That name sounds familiar. Mostly fine furniture company, right?
Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing.
I've been looking for you. You're the last non-staff member on the project Gorgon.
Oh. Then you're not here about my monograph.
Nope.
It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice, Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party.
Да, имаме работа после. You're a bit late. Some mysterious figure already sent me a cryptic warning.
Let me hazard a guess. You didn't listen then, and you're not about to listen now.
You got it. Right on the money. Were you the one trying to send me a message?
If I wanted to send you a message, I'd arrange for a notarized affidavit. Cryptic warnings and subtle threats are not my forte.
За мога да създада от собствената си слюнка. I need to leave the lockdown on Gorgon manufacturing. Can you show me how?
Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know two people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason.
Окей. Можем да го интимидейтнем, но аз не желая. Нека видим, нека го тестваме, нека видим дали има някаква съвест този челяк. Something horrible happened on Gorgon. I'm just trying to uncover the truth.
I advise against trying to dig up what's been buried. Sooner or later, you're going to draw up something rotten. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way, we don't have to rely on mutual trust.
Okay, I got it.
The grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have.
Okay. What's so important about this trophy?
My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him.
That might be the most Byzantium thing I ever heard.
Oh, you're much too kind. Does this mean you'll do it?
Ами, явно нямаме много голям шанс, избор, така че I'll be back with that trophy.
Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium.
Добре. I know what I'm doing, Clarence, thanks.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I look forward to observing your results.
Before I go, there was something else.
What's on your mind?
So, I found this eye.
My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know.
Верно, че имаше и паче, въобще не направих връзка
Possesses
между другото.
unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one.
So, how do you lose your eye?
I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no.
Here, take your eye back. I don't want this thing in my pocket.
Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record.
Супер. I want to ask something else.
What's on your mind?
What can you tell me about Project Gorgon?
At the moment, nothing. I have a one-track mind. I can't stop thinking about that trophy. Why isn't it in my hands? When is it going to be in my hands? And so on and so forth.
Окей.
You get
Тоест,
me that
ако не
best
му
in
свършим
show
работа,
trophy,
няма да ни каже
and
нищо.
it'll clear my mind right up.
До подиума е тая.
This is a private party. No solicitors. No vagabonds. No freelancers. If you're here to offer your services as an entertainer, we're not interested.
I was actually here about the Canet review.
Unfortunately, you're too late. The review ended a few days ago. We've submitted our results to the Judiciary Committee and await arbitration. In 8 to 10 short weeks, we'll have the name of a winner. Probably. That gives us 8 to 10 weeks to file a maintenance request. Our technician barred the vault door and then disappeared without a trace. Can you believe that?
What was your technician doing in the vault?
The Musgrave Vault contracted a security consultant from UDL. They sent a technician to install a few security upgrades, anti-dissident auto-mechanicals and the like. That technician barred the vault, but neglected to leave us with a way in from here. He wasn't seen leaving the security room, so I can't imagine where he's gone off to.
Isn't there another way into the trophy room? What about the maintenance tunnels?
The tunnels are guarded by auto-mechanical security. I don't look nearly boorish enough to resemble a UDL guard, so they'd probably shoot me on sight. In any case, I'd rather not step foot in the tunnels. The tunnels are for disposing of unwanted refuse, and no place for a respectable Byzantine.
Please wait, I can find a way. I can find a way into the vault for you. You don't have to dirty your hands.
Your eagerness to serve your betters is commendable.
Betters.
Here's a key card. It should help you get around inside the tunnels. Now, was there anything else? I'd like to get back to mastering over the ceremonies, or people might question why I have this role at all.
Не, но определено ми направи живота по-лесен, ако после да ти пръсна черепа, ще умра от кеф. Значи този печага каза асансьора и слизаме надолу. Нали сами бой? Кажи. На прав път ли сме? Ще приема твоето мълчание за да. Джонита, Джонита, Джонита. Джонита, 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 Джонита. Взяй този експириенс. Тук някакво правим. Тук. Право пръснахме. Сам и той направо ги пръсна. Оп, ковче женце, ковче женце. Колко лот има тук, много се радвам, когато има така повече лот. Тук имаме ли? Мога ли влезем тук? Можеме, бе.
Nicely done. Oh.
Ате. Верно ли сте ги изтрепали? Нещо. Нещо скъво тук. Някъде имаш още една врата, която светеше в червено, просто не мога да я намеря. Ай. Тази е, нали? Мисля си, че беше тази. Мистер Сейф. Опен се зами. Ми ще науча. Само кажи, идваш в стаята ми и почвам да уча. Добре, тук има някакъв асансьор. Но гледаме за отново. Нали има нещо интересно, нещо, което изпускаме, може би. Тази врата отворихме, тук бяхме. О, ето, изпускаме. Идваме от тази посока, да, окей. Айде да се махаме. Сами бой. Оп, нямаме толкова много. Нямаме толкова много хакинг.
Sure hope these folks don't mind us borrowing this.
Какво му пука. Севаме. Куджу. Какво става, брат? Видиме сега става да моля говорим по
I've got a lot on my mind right now. Our trophy's gone missing, but I can't file an investigation because what we're doing here is technically illegal.
Ще ми се да видя, ако имаме тази опция да й дадем на нея трофея, евентуално, да й дадем на нея и да видим какво ще стане. I found a dead canids down in the tunnel. Explain.
Oh, don't look so cross. Those canids were put down mercifully. Not every canid is suited to the intense competition of our review. Some few canids display flaws that cannot be redeemed. A limp, wall eye, poor coloration.
So you kill them? Wow. I hate absolutely everything about this fucking city. True.
Are you getting emotional over some canids? You know we have a bartender just downstairs. Help yourself.
Проблема не са животинките, проблема са хората.
Nature is red in tooth and claw, and so are we. Competition is practically a law of the universe. I shouldn't have to explain this to you.
Could you give me a minute? Got the strangest urge to load my gun.
Go and attend to your business then. Arguing with you is a waste of time.
Here we go!
Нали седнах преди да говоря с нея? Надявам се, че да, защото просто трябваше да я пръсна. И я пръснах.
I've got...
Упс. Къде с какво се трусаме? Съдрено, но не съдрено тайм. Ай, го
You
разсъди
know,
челяк.
the careers of 9 out
Само
of
че мисля, че не
13
седнах преди да
actors
започна да го
end
разсъждам
after
също.
their debut serial. Enjoy the fame while it lasts.
I'll be back, safe и говорим.
Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. All those superfluous letters ruin my appetite.
I found a dead cat in the service tunnel. You know anything about that?
Dead canids in the service tunnels. Domesticated canids? Why, that's utterly revolting.
You're telling me you had nothing to do with this?
My dear friend, I would not dream of hurting a canid. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill a companion is a profound and unforgivable breach of trust. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. I will, however, take their trophy.
Това е малко странно съцелна система, но има някаква, за разлика от повечето. Today your rookie day. Clarence, I've got your trophy.
My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
Тук компетентността е много на високо ниво, защото да е аномалия. Така, I kept my end of the bargain. I expect you to keep yours.
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers.
Добре.
Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error.
Science. You used statistical analysis to figure out their location. Show me your map.
I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a spacer's choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe.
Чува се какво ще се обърка. You haven't been able to let go of Project Gorgon either. Да, вчерата очевидно ги е търсил, издирвал, изчислявал.
Nonsense.
Кой къде
I
що е.
just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind.
Okay, if you
Keeps
say
the
so.
faculties lubricated.
If you say so. Reception. You talk about leaving the past behind, but you're still feeling responsible. Което е много
Let
готино.
me stop you there. I
Очевидно
don't
е
accept
малко по-пич
anything
от
for
повечето
free.
в
And if you're going to analyze me, I'd have to go through the trouble of hiring you on
тази
contract.
вселена. А те не са много.
Think what you will of my intentions. My calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations.
So these 2 researchers are the only ones left.
As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakesley are the only 2 surviving researchers with high-level clearance. If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way.
I need 2 different overrides to lift the lockdown. Lift one lockdown. Why is nothing in this colony ever simple?
I know it feels like you're being led on, What is that colorful metaphor commoners use? A wild sprat chase? Remember, this is Spacer's Choice we're talking about. Their security protocols are just as inefficient and frustrating as their manufacturing.
Alright, I've got some questions about these researchers.
I'll tell you what I can.
What do I need to know about Marion Blakesley?
Dr. Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker.
Сигурно ще разберем съвсем скоро. Are you sure it was a sabotage?
Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself.
You're asking me to trust your hunch.
I'm asking you to trust in the predictive power of data.
Okay.
Dr. Blakesley may have disappeared after that sabotage incident, but the trajectory of her life was implied in her permanent record.
What about this Jasper Wall guy?
Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Auntie Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus.
Oh, must be some fancy lab coats.
Oh dear. How do I explain this without using too many syllables?
No, простичко.
Lab coats means scientists. It's a colloquial... It's slang. Let's get back on topic. You'll find Dr. Lowe in an orbital lab around Olympus.
Before I go, there was one other thing.
Certainly. What's on your mind?
What can you tell me about Project Gorgon?
Let's try to keep it down, shall we? At least pretend we're being discreet? There's not a lot about Project Gorgon I can tell you. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I closed that chapter in my life. I've moved on.
Може и по-полезен си persuade. I promise. I'm not looking for any trouble. I just want information.
Look, don't tell anyone I said this. But if there's anything I've learned by living in Byzantium, it's this. If you go looking for the truth, you are looking for trouble. All right. Ask your questions. And then if you don't mind, don't mention Project Gorgon anywhere near me again.
Okay. Does the name Minnie Ambrose mean anything to you?
Minnie Ambrose? Oh, Olivia's brat. Ambitious, but like the rest of her family, irrelevant. She tried following her mother's example, failed, and if she ever tried again, I couldn't tell you. The name Ambrose doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or to anyone halfway respectable. The Ambroses are, how do I put this politely, obsolete?
Alright, what happened?
A family's name is only as strong as its enterprise. The Musgraves have Rizzos, and the Schylers have Auntie Cleo, and so we show those names the respect they deserve.
Това е задник, не е задник.
The Ambrose name was associated with Project Gorgon. The project died, and so the Ambrose name died with it. That's just the way the game is played.
You must have left Gorgon for a reason. What happened?
It's complicated. I'll be honest, I didn't join Project Gorgon because I wanted to satisfy my intellectual curiosity. I was courting the daughter of a Spacer's Choice family. We were a mathematically congruent match, you see. I had the proofs all written out and everything.
Why did Project Gorgon need an actuary?
Project Gorgon was designed to change the life of every worker on Halcyon. We weren't just building a product, we were trying to build a society. How many workers call Halcyon their home? What do they eat and when? How long do they sleep? How hard do they work? What are their most productive years? When do their organs begin to fail? That's the nature of my work. I study human life in order to determine its value. Jewelers appraise diamonds, and I appraise people.
Право бе. Ти може би си единствения, който каза, че хората всъщност имат някаква стойност.
Of course you can. You can break the entire universe down into numbers and statistics. Human beings are as much a part of the universe as weather patterns and orbital mechanics.
What exactly went wrong?
Everything. Every project has a margin of failure.
Ясно, нали? Какво
We
ти се даде?
expect setbacks,
Значи,
complications, delays. Project Gorgon experienced a cascade failure. One mistake precipitated another, and another, and another. The labs failed to develop a safe drug. Human inquiry failed to perform their tests responsibly. An unsafe drug tested on unhealthy subjects by irresponsible supervisors. That's Project Gorgon.
Your hands aren't clean, Quarans. You're the part of the Project Gorgon.
I know. Project Gorgon was a failure of leadership. Leadership to which I belonged. I should have pushed for stricter supervision. We gave the other departments too much freedom and not enough oversight. Spare the rod, spoil the servant.
So the project fell apart and your test subjects become murderers.
Anarchy is not a crime. It is a symptom. The undisciplined workplace secretes anarchy the way our glands secrete enzymes. It's a principle of science. Sabotage came first. The chem lab, human inquiry, even my own office. Sabotage broke the discipline of our workplace, leading to confusion, leading to escaped subjects, leading to anarchy.
The staff are all dead or missing. You're the only one wearing a tracker.
No one appreciates the value of good data. The holistic surveillance device I wear is an invaluable tool, gathering data on all my day-to-day activities. My former colleagues can go into hiding and live in ignorance for all I care. I prefer the self-examined life.
No more questions. Thank you for your time.
What's on your mind?
Да видим дали наистина е така. Чудесно. Ами добре, тук ще сложим края на епизода. Защото доста ми се успа, даже на момента имах чувство, че ще заспа. Имах чувство, че ще предрема още малко. Време да сложим края на епизода и да починем малко от играта. Така. Пожелавам ви всичко най-хубаво. Чао, чао и до нови срещи.